Can you still hear the hiss of the jukebox spinning your favorite Elvis tune while the scent of sizzling bacon drifted from behind the chrome counter? The 1950s diner was more than a place to grab a quick bite. It was the heartbeat of Main Street, where neon signs flickered late into the night and sticky vinyl booths welcomed everyone from teenagers with pocket change to traveling salesmen. A fresh pot of coffee always seemed ready, poured by a smiling waitress who knew your order before you spoke. Slipping a quarter into the jukebox, you could feel the bass of rock and roll vibrate through your seat as laughter mingled with the clatter of milkshake glasses and the shuffle of saddle shoes on black and white tile. For so many, these diners were a second home, a place where first dates and midnight snacks turned into cherished stories. Did those red bar stools or the shine of the soda fountain hold a piece of your youth? Tonight, let's slide back into that world of endless pie, timeless tunes, and sweet Americana, because the diner never really closed its doors. Step back with me for a moment to the end of World War II. The country's booming with hope and opportunity, and across the highways and small towns, something extraordinary is percolating. That magical slice of Americana, the diner, has quietly staked its claim as the gathering place for a generation hungry for simple comforts. But where did it all begin? Unwrapping the story of the classic 1950s diner means peeling back layers much older than poodle skirts or drive-in movie nights. Let's rewind to discover how America's love affair with the diner first ignited. Dig deep, and you'll find the diner's earliest roots planted on the East Coast, Providence, Rhode Island, to be exact, in the late 19th century. There, a man named Walter Scott started selling sandwiches and coffee out of a horse-drawn wagon parked near a newspaper office. By nightfall, hungry workers and newsmen lined up for a warm meal, setting the scene for what would become a national phenomenon. Over the following decades, these lunch wagons evolved. By the 1920s and 30s, companies like Jerry O. Mahoney and the Worcester Lunch Car Company were building prefabricated diners and shipping them across the country, piece by gleaming piece, often by rail. Imagine the anticipation in a small town as locals waited for the new chrome and neon marvel to arrive. But it was the post-war era of the 1950s that gave diners their golden glow. America was on the move, and with more cars on the road than ever before, diners sprung up wherever travelers thirsted for a cup of coffee or a stack of pancakes. Suburbs blossomed, and every new strip of highway seemed incomplete without at least one shiny diner sign promising good eats 24 hours a day. Did you know that by 1955 there were estimated to be nearly 6,000 diners dotting the national landscape? Each one offered more than just a meal. They served hope, optimism, and the spirit of a newly mobile nation. Surprisingly, most 1950s diners weren't designed to be built in place. Instead, they were assembled in factories, often in New Jersey, the so-called diner capital of the world, loaded onto flatbed trucks and delivered ready-made to their new homes. This unique approach is why so many diners share that unforgettable streamlined look, a combination of stainless steel, ribbed siding, and sweeping exteriors. There was a beauty in their uniformity. No matter where you were, a diner felt like home. Have you ever stepped into one far from your hometown and felt that comforting sense of déjà vu? The look and feel of a 1950s diner, a building you'd spot a mile away with its neon trim glass block accents and glowing signs, drew inspiration from train dining cars, which themselves used space-efficient booths, curved counters, and open kitchens. These touches were more than stylish. They promised cleanliness, efficiency, and affordable food in a hurry. Yet behind that chrome exterior, diners reflected something deeper too. They embodied the egalitarian spirit of post-war America, where anyone, no matter who they were or how much they had, could slide onto a red vinyl stool and expect the same friendly service. There were still surprises waiting at every turn. For instance, did you know the first diners often served their communities around the clock, long before 24/7 was a buzzword? In bustling factory towns and sleepy crossroads alike, a late-night burger was just a step inside the neon-lit door away. And while movies and TV often show diners as havens for teens and truckers, in the 1950s they were true melting pots, construction workers, teachers, young mothers with stroller-bound toddlers, and even the occasional local celebrity could be found sipping milkshakes side by side. What made the 1950s diner so universally beloved, though, wasn't just food or affordability, it was the sense of belonging. In the uncertain years after the war, Americans longed for stability and connection. Whether you were dropping in after a movie or settling in for an early morning breakfast before a long shift, there was always conversation at the counter and a shared smile from someone behind the grill. And have you ever noticed how memories of diners often involve more than the taste of the food, but the warmth of being remembered? Your usual arriving just the way you like it, without a word. Of course, the times were changing just as quickly as the country. Cars got bigger, highways longer, and American tastes shifted. Drive-ins and fast food joints were on the horizon, but throughout the 50s, the diner kept pace, evolving to meet the moment. Many began updating their exteriors with even more windows, brighter lighting, and bold color schemes meant to catch the eye of passing motorists. Booths grew more spacious, and jukeboxes, real icons of the era, moved from counter corners to every table, offering the latest hits for just a dime. Did you ever race your friends to choose the next song, hopeful yours would play before the French fries arrived? But perhaps the most surprising fact about 1950s diners is how many of them were run as small, family businesses. Despite their mass-produced look and feel, most diners were owned by local families, sometimes for generations. The recipes, too, told a story. Heaping meatloaf was prepared the way Grandma did it, while pie crust secrets were passed quietly from cook to cook. Was there a diner in your hometown where you knew everyone's name, or the kind of place where the owner slipped an extra cookie onto your saucer because he remembered your birthday? It's easy to forget now as time marches on and the landscape changes just how revolutionary the diner really was. In a world before chain restaurants and food courts, the diner carved out a special place in American life, one plate of meatloaf and slice of coconut cream pie at a time. The 1950s diner, with its blend of innovation and tradition, warmth and speed, set the stage for generations of shared meals and treasured stories. But that's not all. While the diner's roots are woven into the history of American towns and highways, its impact went far beyond architecture or convenience. Up next, we'll slide into a booth and explore the ingenious technological advances and unforgettable features that set 50s diners apart, from coin-operated jukeboxes to those gleaming soda fountains. What innovations made these diners such a cornerstone of the era? Let's dig in and find out. As our journey through the world of 1950s American diners comes to a close, it's clear that these chrome-clad havens offered so much more than just a hot cup of coffee or a plate of golden fries. They embodied a spirit of togetherness and optimism that defined an entire era. We've reminisced about the bustling lunch counters where laughter echoed, the familiar faces behind every pot of coffee, and the thrill of a jukebox tune filling the air. The diner was a crossroads where people from all walks of life, students, factory workers, families, and travelers, gathered under neon lights, united by the simple pleasures of good food and warm company. Whether it was the signature blue plate special, a mile-high slice of pie, or a perfectly blended milkshake, each meal came served with a generous helping of community. Diners mirrored the changing face of America itself, always ready to welcome new. Faces yet anchored in tradition. The sparkle of stainless steel, the inviting glow of neon, and the cozy embrace of a red vinyl booth all bring back memories of a time when life seemed a little slower and neighbors felt more like family. It's humbling to realize how these unassuming little restaurants became cornerstones of so many towns and cities, touching lives in ways far deeper than their short order menus would let on. The 1950s diner was more than a meal stop. It was a snapshot of the American spirit at its best, brimming with dreams, dignity, and a dash of everyday magic. Even now, decades later, a glance at a classic diner can flood the senses. The sizzling of bacon on a griddle, the soft clink of coffee cups, the gentle hum of hushed conversations, and the sweet refrains of Brenda Lee or Buddy Holly filling the room. The memories stir something that feels both personal and shared, a collective longing for simpler days when worries faded over a slice of cherry pie and the world outside seemed just a little brighter. As the years have passed and the world has changed, these diners remain quiet guardians of our stories, inviting us to pause and remember what truly brought us together. Thinking back, is there a particular diner memory that brings an easy smile to your face? Maybe a favorite booth where secret crushes were confessed, or a late-night stack of pancakes with friends that seemed to last forever. We'd love to hear your stories. Share your most cherished diner memories down in the comments. What sights, sounds, or flavors instantly take you back? If this stroll down memory lane warmed your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more journeys into the special moments and places that shaped our lives. And if you know someone who would appreciate a taste of nostalgia, share this video with them. Let's keep these memories alive together. Because in the end, the diner's magic was never just about the food, but about the friends made, the laughter shared, and the comfort of belonging, served up, always with a side of American tradition.